All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Link Click, Season 1, Episode 8. Another case.
Another case.
One that you already had a bit of a hand in.
Yes, but she's dead now.
She's dead, and you can't undo that, right?
Can't undo that, but you could maybe find
who did?
Her killer.
And what's the deal with her killer? Because, you know, they were altogether too attractive, and what little we saw of them to seem like they were just an actual background.
They had that
character.
Slim, same age as the protagonist.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
nice voice,
the blonde, rugged hair, and everything. It's like, Yeah, I'm sus. And like more than the usual sus of a murderer.
Right, and it also feels like we're getting close to that point where the series starts to give us the opportunity for a true end
like finale territory
story. Well, something that can tell us where the end game of this story is. Because one of the kind of cool things about Link Click is that if we go back to the beginning, there is no beginning.
Not really.
It just drops you in.
Yep.
Cold open.
Right.
You just need to follow along. And I've been waiting for, in some ways, the story to naturally give us at some point the beginning.
Sure, because you need the beginning in order to know where it's going to end. But then if the beginning isn't necessarily what we think is the beginning, even though there wasn't a beginning, because maybe Lu Guang is doing some...
Right. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yep.
You're thinking what I'm thinking.
Oh,
there's some shit that the story could absolutely pull because of the type of story this is, but also the way that they set up the character dynamics, specifically between, you know, I mean,
100%. Yes.
And there's a lot of things that can be gotten into there. So... if this is kind of that period where we're headed towards the end of season 1, this should be the point where we start getting some more serious world building or serious direction for the plot. As a whole.
Certainly serious developments, because this is the first time we've like gone back to a previous case.
Yes.
And that was also a case. Well, okay, most of the cases are things where something goes wrong, but you know,
yeah. But this is the one where the part that went wrong wasn't communicated to Cheng Jiaxi.
And it theoretically might have actually like had a lasting change rather than just we need to fix this now. It's she read those emails or text messages, she's dead.
And whatever's introduced in the beginning of a story is the most important, not just for the story, but for characterization.
Sure.
And Lu Guang was okay with this.
Oh.
Something I've been thinking about for a while.
Okay.
Just the idea that, like, Lu Guang knew this happened.
Right. It's the don't read that, but he didn't say, like, hey. I mean, I guess if he had said, hey, if you read that, she's going to... No, if he had said, if you read those, she's going to die, that probably would have...
Yep.
Yeah. Like, it's not the thing of that'll have rippling consequences.
Right.
It's the no.
Yeah.
It's
the example of, again, where Lu Guang doesn't tell Cheng Jiaxi things that seem like it would make sense for him to tell based on how much he does tell him.
Well,
and it actually is him guiding him.
And since that episode, we got additional information and context with regards to the exact mechanics of his abilities. So in retrospect, that makes it even more sus. Whereas back then, it's like, okay, well, shit, this is why you don't fuck with the timeline.
Yeah,
I guess,
exactly.
You know,
right.
Yeah, even the most innocuous thing could be important.
But yeah. So y'all, without further ado, let's get into this.
Wow. Wait. And the cop's clocking this.
Uh-huh. No, there's going to be some kind of time-related thing associated with it.
程小石，谁给你代表我们的权利了？小队，别理他，上不上，还是陆光。
大致情况我都看过了。
But he's the one who does the heavy lifting.
我们无能为力。
Yeah. He saw that. Yep.
闭嘴吧你，生不带来，我不是闹着玩的。
Yeah, he's like, what was the photo that he didn't want him to see? Yeah.
God, this cop's good. I love him so much in the story. He creates this very reasonable, competent guy to just kind of have a perspective that's not 180, but like is a 45. Well, he just tilts to the side.
It butts up against him and causes tension because
Yeah, he's still moving the same direction as them, you know?
In a lot of ways, it's a fun way to take some of the potential issues with how the story is like put together that we go along with because that's the vibe of the show, right? You know, but these people are teenagers or, you know, very young and stupid and naive, and they make all kinds of mistakes. They're not like some professional militant organization, right?
Yeah.
So they're going to be sloppy. And so you put a detective into the mix, he will find that stuff, right? That's, you know, I'm going to very quickly make it so that Cheng Xiaoxi doesn't see it. Cool. The cop saw you do that, right? Like, that he's not just going to miss it, you know?
Right. Yeah. I love it. Oh. Welcome, my lady. Oh, babe. Oh, right.
我特地来关心关心社会盲流的再就业情况呢。
哎呦，原来是体察民情来了。珊珊姐，你想委托什么事？
Now Lu Guang's going to be super up for helping her out, and Cheng Xiaoxi's going to be like, wait a minute. What?
朝气蓬勃的。
But you didn't want to try and help the cop with like the criminal case?
Right. Oh, yeah, they're
That's cute.
微辣，一根火腿肠，美家香菜。
谢啦，多少钱？我微信转你。
你这人，谈钱伤感情。我们谈点别的条件呗。
Hey, they're playing League!
Oh, yeah.
Yes，终于打上白金了。
Wow.
这水平，带的你这小弟弟。
More than enough to carry you.
Amazing.
都那么多年了，这专业级还没捅破，急得我又什么？考研？干嘛那么吃惊？我就想再深造深造，出来挑份好工作的几率更高些啊。许仙姑，后面2年我不在你身边陪伴，你要照顾好自己啊！来啊，谁跟谁照顾谁？其实我心里明白，他是为了董毅，所以才决定留下来的。
Okay.
我们那导师太坑了，但他一直也没能等到那句话。
Yeah.
Oh.
光阴似箭，岁月如梭，2年研究生匆匆。
Oh,
So they're in a
no.
relationship,
Oh,
but there's
no.
never any I love you or anything.
Yeah. No, what if they aren't actually in a relationship? Oh, no.
珊珊，跟董一你俩合个影呗，来。
哎，大老爷们还是什么秀啊？前天晚上就这么2张照片，另一张是开饭前自拍拍着玩的。陈老师，你烦不烦？他们都可以走，但你哪也不许去。
徐珊珊，我有件事。
Oh no!
Oh, no!
Oh, she missed it right before she blacked out!
Yeah.
No!
这一个字都没有记。
Ah!
出现了之后才知道自己还干了一大堆糗事。
Right.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's so relatable! Oh,
你那么在意
shit!
他说了什么？干嘛不事后直接去问他？
正是因为我太在意。
Right, you don't
Yeah,
want to... Yeah.
Lu Guang, now you're the one with the low EQ. Look.
Although at the same time, that could make it sweeter in a way.
No, really, that's why. She's scared it could be something else.
Yeah. And
if it's a big important thing, he would bring it naturally. That's the same modus operandi
Yeah.
she's been going with up until now, so.
yeah.
这摆明是种买卖，怎么可以说白干就白干？至少也要意思一下吧。
I've had enough of you, Cheng Xiaoxi! Yeah.
我想起来了，
What is that
放心
face?
吧，估计主要都是靠陆光，程小时就是个工具人，
Ha!
靠
Wow.
谱就行。
Oh, God.
想起来了，进了照片，还不都是我说了算？我想怎么折腾就怎么折腾。徐珊珊，他说他可以给你也安排个岗位，
Oh, my God, bro.
头发太长的女生。
啊？你说啥？
徐珊珊，你太过分了！你要拒绝我，也不能这么糟蹋自己啊！哎，开个玩笑，怎么就整崩溃了还？那男生看着挺好，怎么内心这么脆弱？
程小时，
Oh, no, I'm absolutely going to.
徐珊珊，
嗯，
我看这儿没人坐吧？
So is this...
这种感觉，
Is this when they first started going out then?
而且比之前心跳得更快了，胸口堵得难受。
Because I feel like it...
你手放哪儿呢？
Pay attention.
跟我还客气啥？
哎，徐珊珊，
No. This is the night, the special night. Yeah.
过来。
Well, or maybe they're going through multiple photos, and so they're
No,
getting the
remember they
context.
said they only had 2 that she took.
No, but from that night.
Maybe, but this is her photo first.
哎，差不多得了。
Good man,
我看你
just
平时也没什么
just looking out for her.
Yeah.
用不着借酒消愁吧？
你这书呆子，为什么总是这么理性？有时候难道感性一回不行吗？
你知道我为什么当年会选择考研？
Oh.
不知道。
习惯有人一起吃饭，习惯了有人一起上课、打游戏，
I don't want it to end.
习惯了有人一起漫无目的的在校园里散着步，说着没心没肺却又心照不宣的话。
Whoa.
And what he's going to tell her is that he needs to move on.
考研成了我逃避的手段，但现在
Yeah. Uh-huh.
终究还是要选择离开。
离开。
Yeah.
是因为我太在意，所以才问不出口。
Mm-hmm.
害怕真实的答案
Yep,
和我
yep.
想的并不一样。
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Of course,
Karaoke
it's
time, yeah.
probably some kind of love song with maybe a dash of unrequited in there. Beautiful song.
面包和理想，还有平淡和伟大。
Rip.
哇，该上你们不上，这不坑我吗？
喂，你能不能有点脑子？每次开团不等人齐就冲。
我是看准了抓单的好时机啊，是你们跟上慢了。
Nice.
你们仨能不能活跃一点？跟三炷香一样插那有啥劲儿嘛？说我俩都不约而同的选择了读研，是不是特别巧？
巧吗？还好吧，留下来读研的不是还挺多的吗？
没劲。明早的课还是在一福楼201。
Oh boy. Oh
知
boy.
道，2煎蛋微辣，1根火腿肠不加香菜。如果可以，我永远都不想说再见。
Yeah.
But you're going to.
Oh.
咱这6年哥们儿算是白做了。
Friendship.
Yeah, I know. Like
不错，
this is
气息还挺好。
the whole low EQ thing was all like repeated was foreshadowing for the fact that yeah. Oh my god.
Damn it.
This
Yeah, they're not in a relationship.
Yeah.
You said 6 years of friendship. Yeah.
uh-huh. And it's not like this is something that she considers to be a new thing. Like she's convinced they've been in a relationship for a while. And she gave them space.
他们都可以走，但你哪也不许去。
Sorry, that's not how this goes.
委托就完成了。
徐珊珊，我有件事想跟你说。
No way.
No.
这人鬼鬼祟祟的，怎么好像在哪里见
Oh.
过？
No.
照片上那个连
No.
环杀人
No, it's
I mean-
different hair color.
I mean, he could have dyed his hair to throw off cameras maybe, but like
程老师，
Whoa.
oh shit.
Oh my god.
That
It was.
and that car might have been a drive-by to
Yep.
so that he could grab her and
Yep.
holy shit. But you're drunk. You're like sloshed. This is not the time to chase a kidnapper. I mean, hopefully the friends aren't gonna let her just run off into an alley while she's
糟了，手机放哪了？
Oh my god.
小心身后！等等，你突然转身的话，很有可能会刺激到犯人。
哎呀，喝多了尿急。飞流直下3000尺，于是银河。
Wait. Yeah, you don't have a dick. What are you gonna
Right.
那还不赶紧换？
Squat down and
There you go. There you go.
yeah, but that he's gonna
这样还不打算放过我吗？
yeah, of course he is.
变态的，
Forget pervert, kidnapper.
来真的！
Oh no, projectile vomit. Oh, you could have turned around and ah! You wait. No. Really? That look on Lu Guang's face of just like, how the fuck did that happen?
走你！
是我，你什么时候学的防身术啊？
董一，那个戴棒球帽的呢？
Yeah, I don't think it's the same dude.
Oh. You're kidding me.
妈宝吗？
He was gonna do that. Oh, get his ass.
刚准备毕业那会儿，家里
There
就
we
送我
go.
回去。我爸给我安排好了一切，
Oh, and I said no.
所以我很早就知道，自己毕业后不可能留在这个城市。
But
我从前不敢表白，
发什么愁呢？
是因为我害怕伤害那个一起相伴了6年的你。
Oh,
shit.
哦，赛凡毕业答辩的事，
嗨，多大点事儿
I mean, you think she wouldn't go with you?
She stayed here because you stayed.
Yeah.
有点东西没弄完。
不去算了。那罚你帮我搬砖，晚上回来去宿舍楼下问你要啊。
Oh, but
Yeah.
if he doesn't ask her to go with him, she won't.
Yeah.
Because she hasn't. Yeah.
家整天出双入对的，怎么还不把关系挑明？
He should take the initiative. Yeah.
不得不毕业，我才想明，不管未来多难，我都要留下来，
Oh.
因为离开你
Oh, shit.
比任何事情都痛苦。
哎，董一，
Wait.
She cut her hair.
你也来这家面试啊？都快10点了，
哦
你在这发什么呆呢？
Wow.
我等会儿就上去。
那我先上去了。
They changed things too much.
Well, no, I think it's. Or wait. Oh, that wasn't her. I
Yeah.
thought.
难道那天的话，还是让他生气了？
Oh, shit. I thought she just cut her hair to make herself
No, I don't
like.
think that was her.
珊珊，这是什么意思啊？
Something's wrong.
乔玲，打给徐珊珊问问。
啊？哦，
Oh, it's not her. Oh shit. Has she been kidnapped?
Yeah,
徐珊珊
because there was the
虚伪
accomplice
消
that
息
was in the
是你
car.
发的吗？
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
The reply is too quick. God, chills.
shit.
I got chills, yo.
That's all right. Okay. Kidnapping number 2. Let's go.
Yep.
Let's go. God, the dude chloroforming himself because like that's all that's so satisfying in a like and poetic in a weird way because like you know, can't take rejection, can't face reality, but also can't face the reality that like, oh no, she got drunk and vomited and he's like, oh no, it smells so bad.
I just thought of something though, why he did that.
Why he chloroformed himself?
Yeah. There's a reason in this world specifically why someone would suddenly do that. Why they would basically lose their mind and do something weird.
If they got time swapped.
If they were swapped with at that moment.
No,
I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you. Someone was time swapping with him, saw that things were going bad, jumped out, and then he's now there, panics, doesn't realize he's holding chloroform.
I mean,
That's why Cheng Jiaoxi was saying that the headline was being like, oh, this is some baseless thing about some some like thing that's been going on that's now no longer a problem because they caught the guy. And what if this guy's effectively been
I like the
used.
idea of it because that could be how they could introduce interplay between them and another time traveler in that we're going to cede you a job by forcing the problem that you'll be trying to fix so that way. Yeah.
I mean, it's the kind of thing where if we don't see it as comedy, it makes it's kind of contrived. It's really
no, it's totally contrived.
But I mean, this show is not really a comedy show. Like,
well, but it is absolutely a contrived show, right?
No,
It's
a time muckery show.
No, right.
Things are going to be contrived by the nature that time is going to be mucked with. You know.
No, but they have. Well, we can talk about it.
Yeah, we can talk about it. Yeah.
Okay. So another kidnapping.
And
another multi-episode arc. Cool.
Yeah. And I love the way that this one was set up as basically the Blue Milk Run, in that it was a very easy just go and check to see if somebody had actually confessed or not when their friend had started to black out from being drunk.
Right.
Very straightforward and simple, but then it leads into this thing where it just feels
there's
really
weird stuff
interesting
going
here
on.
Where Lu Guang feels like it feels like it's super convenient that you know the person associated potentially with this thing here that was doing all the pro-kidnapper stuff ended up being the kid who wanted to make Shanshan date him in order to get a hospital. Like that seems super super odd.
Well, I totally clock the entitlement angle.
Yes.
Right? That makes sense.
Yes. Rich kid.
That it's you should date me, you don't, I'm upset.
Right, but then goes to kidnap someone else.
Right.
That's the part I don't get.
They could totally have done the thing of where he had plans to maybe There's elements of this show that are very sort of loosey-goosey with the connection between the points that happen because it's part of the adventure and the journey,
But there's also an underlying mystery of what's really going on. But there's also an
underlying mystery. And this is where the aspect of where I don't click with mysteries a lot gets tough for me because like red herrings and things like that, it just doesn't make sense to me. I'm like, why? So when we get things that could be mystery elements where it's like, this is a clue, is it a clue or is it just that, hey, go along for the ride, don't look too close at, some of the details, right?
So that's, again, the point is that you're binary, you're making things into a binary.
Right, it can be both. But then it's the, I have trouble telling the difference between the two.
Yeah, and that's what you got me. Is that my thing is that I look into things way too deep. So I pattern match things based on a perspective that I've already grabbed to see if they lead somewhere. And then eventually I abandon the perspective if there's nothing going there. But I use the perspective to make the connections pop up if they make sense from that perspective.
And so I like the perspective that you've got.
We need in this story an antagonist. Yes. We don't have an antagonist yet.
We in fact, we do have a potential antagonist set up. And for some reason, Cheng Xiaoxi said, that's the person from the photo, which granted, I guess they didn't get the photo was real shitty quality.
But I don't think it was.
It 100% wasn't.
Well, no, it 100% wasn't. But the thing that's weird is that he still thought it was. Right. And the reason why, I think, is because some of the clothes were similar.
Sure. Okay.
The way in which the guy was dressed had the same cap, I think. It has an N at the top there. I believe... he had a cap. We'll have to go back and look at episode 1 to
basic
see.
Thing to obscure your face from cameras. And now, Cheng Xiaoxi...
Hair color was very different.
Very different. Age was different, And theoretically, you could say that those are things that he wouldn't have been able to pick up from the photo, but then why would he know that... Why would he think that they're the same person?
Right.
What I think happened is that he clocked that this person's a kidnapper.
Well, I think that he clocked that this person is shady. Yeah. He said that person looks sneaky.
Yeah.
What are they doing?
Right.
And then he's like, I think it's the person. Now, while he didn't get as good of a look necessarily, he did get the view from the back. And I want to give another thing here is that specifically, Cheng Xiaoxi's senses are fucked with in this space.
Right. On top of that, he is drunk right now.
Right. On top of the time travel stuff, he is also drunk. But the thing I think that is really important here is that because he's not actually Shanshan here, he is able to actually disconnect himself from that in the moment, reassert control, not blackout, and go, That's something odd. And I think the reason why is because when Cheng Xiaoxi is in this state, he's not just viewing things through the lens of his 5 senses. There's the aspect that he's got the time kind of insertment energy through the photo and all that.
The earlier instances of something like this happening, I would say, is the basketball match. Yes. Where even if, say, he has all the skills of a basketball player, you're still in someone else's body,
right?
But that kind of didn't really matter, right? And so right now, he's in the body of a girl who's blackout drunk, right? Like he didn't change the amount that she drank as far as I could tell, right?
He might have.
He might have a little bit, right? But it's the, in that moment, he's already drank the amount that he's going to drink. He's sloshed, but he's still okay because...
there's a difference.
There's a difference,
and,
right?
And while he might have drank less in that regard, the point is that they were there to get the message. So at the very least, Lu Guang helped him make sure that they would have enough time conscious to get the message.
Right.
But the idea that Cheng Xiaoxi found someone who did happen to be a kidnapper did have the drive-by van that went by. He abandoned the kidnapping of a random girl at the karaoke thing. Now, while that could have been character motivations for this stuck-up hospital son or whatever, in like the frustration, well, then I guess I'll kidnap someone else.
So my thought with that, and this is where it's like there's a lot of things that feel disconnected, and there's a way that I can.
This is why I came up with my theory.
Well, you're right, and I think that definitely has a lot of potential merit to it. But what I would say would have happened is that he's like, I'm going to kidnap her. That still doesn't entirely make sense because he was wanting to get her to date him. As in exchange for an official like position thing. So like there's an element of where I would think that would also be for status reasons, not just like I want to kidnap you and assault you or something, right?
Right. There's all the ways we could psychologically try and profile the kind of person that one wants to date someone for status and or just familial honor or whatever, but then also having the dark other double life of
I'm going to kidnap you.
I'm serial kidnapper or something.
And I have somebody that I can get to help me with this the same evening.
Yes.
Which is, that means this was probably premeditated of I'm going to try and kidnap this person. And then why he went after the random girl, I would say, is because it's she stayed behind. She wanted to keep doing karaoke. He thought that everyone was going to be leaving and that he'd get his opportunity. But she didn't present the opportunity. And so he's like, well, there's that other person and they're off by themselves. I'll get her instead.
I think that only works. I think that only works if you go for the idea that there was a predetermined plan of the person that comes to here at this point, because the car is.
I'm going to be grabbing somebody here. Give me a getaway.
But it's the car specifically that kind of determines that. Unless you want to just have the car circling constantly and just waiting for time, or it's way down the road. There's a signal that's given via some kind of text message.
The car's coming. Yeah, text message signal. And then as the car's coming, he then times it with the car's approach to, knock them out. And
he could have been watching for...
Yeah.
But the point I think that's even bigger here is that the show needs an antagonist. We have, in my opinion, the first time where we could actually be dealing with one in that this is a case that is being revisited.
Yep.
Even though this is not the exact case. The idea then that Cheng Jiaoshi thinks that there's a connection here by this being the same person, which I think is not entirely a coincidence.
No, I think I have an explanation in my head and it's really silly, but I could totally see the show doing it.
No, but two, the idea that the comedy bit of the chloroform moment feels hilarious as a gag for the way in which Cheng Jiaoshi kind of used the instance that he can't do anything too different to, screw up the memory of Shanshan. But whatever he did here, even though it ended up getting rid of this whole person here, still got her kidnapped.
Yeah.
Which means then that this instance here is part of a bigger deal. Because even if the hospital kid is the one that had the desire to do this, the result is that probably because he got caught and she was the one that literally on public television was the reason for that, someone went to go and kidnap her because she knows too much, she's a threat.
Yeah. Or just simple revenge,
exactly. Yeah. But in my opinion, that's too brash. Yeah. That means there's something way bigger than a kidnapping going on here.
Let's smoke a joint and go into the weird territory. So, this is another body swapped time traveler.
I absolutely think
that's why they didn't know that the cloth had the chloroform, because the person basically left or disconnected or whatever. And I would, this is where it goes into, but this is the way that this is, it's so weird, and yet this is the one that makes the most sense somehow. That's why Cheng Jiaoshi recognized them. Because he could tell from the way,
vibe.
Yeah, from the way that they walked, the whatever, the aura, the something, even though it was through a shitty quality photo, he's like, I can tell that that's the same person, because he recognized the person that's controlling them, not the actual person themselves.
He recognized that the like you're saying, the aura, the energy that they gave off is the same vibe of that other person there. And that's the thing. That's the thing. That does make sense for the style that this show does.
Oh, yes.
But it also could be a really cool way to settle in for some world building, because let's be real here, if you have an antagonist against Lu Guang and Cheng Jiaoxi, there's literally almost nothing that could beat them unless they had some kind of ability.
And that's what makes this get especially weird, because then this turns from a kidnapping to a targeted first contact from supervillain to superhero.
Who are like, wait, you both exist?
Yeah, it's the I'm going to kidnap Lois Lane to make Superman come after her because I have kryptonite, right? Like, and so that's why they kidnapped the other girl to then, like, you know, draw them away because they knew they were going to go back to affect this thing or something.
Well, that's,
and then,
that's where
why they kidnapped them afterward.
Well, they could, possibly. I like that, but I think that's where things get a little bit complicated here. Is that it could be that. And yet, the idea of abandoning the setup.
Yeah.
When you could maybe have just gotten her.
Right, well,
and yet you're going to kidnap her anyway, means I don't think that's the case. I think this was the heroes and the antagonist accidentally totally stumbling into each other.
Maybe that could totally be it. The other thing that I will say that is a potential point against the puppeting thing, but it could still be a connection point with the actual antagonist because of the car driver, is that why did he try and kidnap her when she was in the alley?
Yes.
So that's actually really fucking dumb.
She's really dumb.
She's not a 4-year-old that will follow you seemingly willingly.
Right, and
this
she
is
also
a grown-ass
screamed
person.
something, ran in there. Her buddy is going to be following behind her very soon.
Like the fact that, like, this is
she's also got to be held, you know.
This is another one of those things, like from the kidnapping arc, where, like, they, you know, Cheng Jiaoxi sees the kidnapper, and then they go out of it, and they're like, oh, no, I didn't get a good look at their face. It's like, no, yes, you did, right?
Right.
So the fact that, like, the people aren't following her in there, the fact that the kidnapper thinks that this is a good idea when the car already passed and is in an alley, he's not going to be able to, you know, conveniently get the person to get them out. You know?
The kidnapping that was happening at the street is so professional compared to the impulse, whatever decision it was to go and do things in the alley.
So here's my thought.
Yeah.
The car driver is the actual professional, and that's why you have the
well, of course.
Right, but that's how you can have that situation
disconnect still happen.
Right, because
any kind of
what I feel like the
the
point here is that the kidnapping itself is actually really easy. You just need to have somebody to help you, right?
Right.
To have, you know, I'm bigger than you. Oh, and I set up with a thing to knock you out.
Need some chloroform.
Yeah, as long as you get your getaway, that's it, right? Like, you know, you don't need to do much more than that. An idiot could do it. The person that afterwards is like, hey, I'm gonna do a whole voice changer thing, and, you know, like this very much oozes the setup for the big antagonist in some kind of, you know, mystery.
No, I'm still with you.
Show.
I'm 100% still with you. But then 100% that would have happened to Shanshan at the street and not some random girl. Because it's she rejected me. I'm going to call up my person who does bad things and be like, so I don't really like them. You know,
kind of hard disagree there because I think, like, there's the you know how to do something, so you're good at doing it. But with that comes the awareness of, this is a situation where my skill set doesn't help here. The fact that she was going to stay behind and with another person, you know, like, and a dude that would, like, you know, he's a big dude, right? You know, if you come up to try and, like, grab her and throw her in the car, you're probably not even going to get her in the car, much less having somebody that sees the car and,
it's
you know,
two people, you can't
you just sort of can't do it, right? But, and what I would also absolutely, like, guess, given the, you know, whole, hospital, all that stuff, you know, rich entitled kid, is that this is also the person who the driver is the person who essentially, like, gave the idea / did the actual equipping and planning, right? Because this person wouldn't probably be involved enough in that sort of a situation to, like, really have any kind of experience or have done this before, probably in any kind of, like, you know, well executed sense, right?
I mean, on the
not that they wouldn't have.
On the most, if we go, see, you have to think about this, like, there's only, like, a couple scenarios that work here. If we go for the idea that the kid is leading a double life and he's actually a professional kidnapper, then the moment that he did in the alley doesn't make sense.
Right.
If you go for he's a schmuck, he's getting used by other people, and he's been blackmailed, he's been doing all this stuff there.
Or he does actually want to do it.
Or he does actually like doing it.
He didn't have the,
Whatever the thing is, that's the realm where he's not the professional. And like you're saying, there's an organization, there's someone else in the car. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
It's not him. Someone else is the professional. If you go by that thing there, then it's arbitrary who the kidnapped person is, because kidnappers don't care necessarily who they are,
and that's why
they're more doing it for the human trafficking side of things.
Sure, and that's where also the deflection to the other girl would make a bit more sense, because
it's arbitrary. Then
it's arbitrary, and if they have a person that's like either egging them on or in on this with them, and they maybe have a different motivation.
Yeah.
If he's like, oh fuck, it didn't work, she's staying behind, calling someone on the phone, and they're like, well, is there anybody else? Like, I mean, hey, like, what's who's next best, and somebody that we actually could nab. That's disconnected from maybe his specific obsession with her.
Sure.
Right. And then
that's a good point.
But
okay, this was a fun episode. We didn't follow up with the cop, so that means the cop will be followed up with later.
Because if this cop was involved, he, like,
well, no, because the thing is that he doesn't have any evidence. All he knows is that was suspicious.
No, totally. Yeah, no, I'm not talking evidence. I'm talking about, like, seeing the clues and stuff, right? Because
yes, but he can't be here because this was all the time stuff, Jacob. We can bring him in when we go into present stuff of Shan just got kidnapped. We just got a call from a kidnapper.
And sure, they're probably going to go to the cop immediately.
So either they go to the cop immediately, or they go back into the photo again.
Sure.
And Luke Long's like, no, we can't do that. And Chang Zhao, she's like, no, we have to do that. That's the exact reason why we have to do that.
So this brings up a couple thoughts. So one, if they then go to the cop, that's the way that the status quo can be equalized with regard to the cop wanting their help and them wanting the cop's help, and then maybe they can bring him into the fold, tell him some of the stuff about the time stuff or whatever, right?
Or at the very least, the cop can tell them more about the serial homicides.
It progresses stuff like that. their relationship as entities, basically, right? The other one is that given that this is episode 8 and the previous arc was a 2-episode kidnapping arc, we get another kidnapping episode here. It feels like there is an opportunity to have the next episode be the one that resolves this, and maybe it's just the driver or whatever. But if there is some sort of body swapping, some sort of thing like that,
it could linger on into the
next arc. That then we have like a 3-episode finale arc or something like that. Where it's okay, now you have the actual like antagonist and whatnot.
Sure. I love the way that this was the unintended consequence, not necessarily because of what she did when she was in the alley. It's because she went to the alley at all.
Oh yeah, and also this is something that is, this is like the way that they've been approaching but are we actually changing things with our time stuff? Even in the previous arc, that was like, it was shaky, but they did the thing of the make sure you take good care of him, et cetera, right? So that we haven't found a body, but now we won't find a body for sure because we did this thing.
Right.
This is a situation where she literally came to you guys to help her find out what was said, and now was kidnapped shortly thereafter. So theoretically, she wasn't even able to hire you guys for the job in the first place, right?
Well, no, because again,
it's enough time after that.
It's enough time after that, and she
she
deviated so much from the original course.
But also, no, now that I think about it, obviously this dude wouldn't be staying out late and drinking and partying the night before a big,
this was
interview
not,
or something.
Yeah, this was not the night before. No.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
This is a little bit before. This was at least a bit before.
Okay.
And we might have had the exposition for that, but this was not the last night. The thing that was the big deal was that the job associated with this is the day of.
Right, they do the job for it the day, like the morning after. And, well, not necessarily.
They do the job, but then they find out that the message is that, hey, this day here is when the thing there. Now, I can bring up the part where he brings...
tomorrow morning at 10.
It was the previous night.
Yeah.
So they were up drinking and stuff.
And more importantly,
that means so much then to him as a person that he's like, yeah, I've got a big interview, but you know what? No, it's Jean-Jean. I'm going to be.
I want you there, right? But she goes the next morning. We can tell by when, she shows up for the job. This is the morning after. Here's the job. At earliest, 7 a.m., probably 8 or 9.
Shit, so
this
is
right before it happens. They talk to her. She leaves. The amount of time that it took for them to do the job to the kidnapping, that's like no time at all.
Yeah, this is a professional thing.
Well, a professional thing or some time muckery stuff where
you only have so much time to
the time doesn't actually line up, right? Like either the person was a professional and is like in 30 minutes or something, I was already planning, I'm going to make this thing happen, or as a result of what you did, they started planning a kidnapping immediately after.
Like within 30 minutes, they were calling people
of the drive-by failing.
Right.
You know,
I think that's the other thing that's a bit odd here is that because of the being put on public television and stuff. It happened after that too.
Right. Like so you're telling me that was like late that night when it's like everybody had already like was going home. It's probably close to last call. And you have news people showing up. Like I guess if you call the cops because a kidnapping
and there's
happened,
no text for the Chinese that's on
like,
the television here.
Right. Like I get the idea that there'd be those news reporters that are like, yep, anytime there's shit that's happening, we go, and the cops went to this place.
Okay, sorry, not live TV. It was just a picture on an online article.
Sure. But regardless, you had press that were there that late at night because of a thing that happened like right there. Sure, okay, press show up, Johnny on the spot, right? But then like this is a for a time related show, even though they definitely do the time in some general like broad stroke a little loosey-goosey with like the mechanics and things. This feels very like, hey, we're giving you specific hour by hour stuff, and it doesn't feel like it lines up.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm gonna be watching Lu Guang's face here because the way he said I wrote everything down, and then we end up getting the call here.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. So when they call, they get an answer immediately. Yeah, we did one. Send the message in the group.
And like, why say I will show up as promised? Like that doesn't like yes, it's a response to the message that was said, but you're using a voice changer. You're revealing that the person's been kidnapped.
No, Jacob. It's egotistical. It's taunting. It's egotistical. Like
okay.
This is someone basically going like, yeah, I'll do it. Basically being like, yeah, what are you gonna do? Like,
okay.
I think it's 100% giving us characterization on this kidnapper.
Oh yeah, anytime you get a voice changer, criminal type thing, you already have like a bit
Lu Guang is stone cold here. Mm-hmm. Now, this is probably Lu Guang in work mode, being like,
sure, yeah, right, the one sweat drop, on his cheek, and that's it,
Right, but what I think is interesting here is that in the beginning of the episode, when he saw the photo of the girl that was dead, he reacted very strongly.
Well,
meaning that
I mean, but that makes sense. It's we did a job. He did something that he wasn't supposed to, and the thing happened that I guess he would have known from the beginning was going to happen. Yeah. And then, now I'm seeing evidence that this is coming back around. It's like,
I don't want Cheng Jiaoxi to see this. That's probably what...
Right.
Because he definitely has this, like, I'm creating a bubble around Cheng Jiaoxi a little bit. Yeah. Like, I'm keeping what kind of info I can have leak over to him.
And at the very least from the shock, apart from the, Cheng Jiaoxi, I'm going to, quickly swap the photos, But
it also being brought up.
It being brought up, right? There's a cop that's like, hey, there's this dead person, and he's like,
Yeah, I guess it's just the fact that he doesn't really emotionally react here.
Right, like
feels a bit.
Yeah, a lot of the characters in this show, well, not a lot of the characters, the sister specifically, very much like lifts up Lu Guang as he's so awesome because he is the
one doing this.
He is the one doing this. He is the one that's keeping the level head and all of that stuff. And so yes, props to him.
Right.
But there's a level of like,
That's what I'm telling you. There's some mystery going on with him.
Uh-huh.
It's all in the baggy eyes. It's in the way in which he doesn't share things with Cheng Jiaoxi. It's in the way that we didn't really start this anime with here's how they decided to do this.
Yep.
There's a lot that, in my opinion, has happened before this, and we are basically building the network and layers upon which we'll then go back at some point and understand exactly why this is happening, what's going on.
Yeah.
And moments like this feel like the story starting to basically peel off the first layer of the onion and being like,
oh, here's another reason why it would explain a lot of extra things. Not that it's necessarily super important for this show because of the style that it goes for, but if it is a time hopping person, that would also answer the question of like, okay, you happen to go back in time and, you know, check this thing, Blue Milk Run, all that, and you just happen to be there right when a kidnapping is about to happen. Right? Like that's all right. Not that kidnappings aren't, you know, unfortunately very common, you know, but like the fact that it's just like, it just happens to be right there, you know?
Right. But this is actually another thing that we've never fully explained that this might hint at here.
What?
This is something that I'm kind of waiting for them to do at some point. Why does Lu Guang have to look at something and get like we are doing this one?
Right.
If they almost always say yes. What is he actually doing when he looks at the photos?
It's the thing of, that's a good point, because in the first episode, I thought it was when he does the clap that he gets the info.
No.
But if it's when he looks at the photo, then that would explain why he's able to tell.
He's got some extra perception that he's looking through that's more than just, you know.
No, right, but it's the whole, you know, he knows what's going to happen in the 12-hour span of, you know, that they have to affect things or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know.
No.
Hence the, you know, if you get a good look at them, I can then, like, you know, freeze on that image, you know, and like then we can know who we're dealing with.
But if this is the kind of thing where it's I don't want to do this.
Oh, there's definitely some Machiavellian hand of God stuff where it's I know all the details. I'm not going to ever tell you like anything other than what the audience knows, but I know far more than that. And a lot of times it is actually very relevant. And it's not in something where it's like you would think there'd be some big problem if Cheng Jiaoxi did know.
Right.
You know?
And again, this all just feeds back into the idea that Lu Guang is not telling us this stuff because, one, on a meta level, it would ruin some of the story for the audience's perspective.
You have a time travel show, and the episode ends in 3 seconds because it already happened. You know,
right.
Yeah.
But also, two, because there's a reason to not tell Cheng Jiaoxi or his sister about it.
Yeah.
And that is far more interesting to me than the meta reason of, you know, obviously.
Right.
We can't have the story be bogged down in the slow, boring exposition of him telling everything.
And because Cheng Jiaoxi is the type of rebel that constantly questions things, it makes it so that people don't take him seriously when he does have concerns. And the sister is just like, oh no, Lu Guang can do no wrong, you know, et cetera, et cetera.
You know, Lu Guang is partnered with Cheng Jiaoxi and not his sister.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that too.
Yep.
There's got to be a reason for that too. I think the number one reason that makes sense to me is that it's a way that personality-wise, Cheng Jiaoxi is actually easier to control.
Oh, 100%.
Won't just spill the secrets.
Oh yeah.
Basically.
Well, and let's be real. I'm going to control what you know. Like that's textbook manipulator. You know, right?
I mean, we've seen multiple.
we know his motivations for it, and a lot of times there's very good reasons. But like doing it as a like carte blanche rule of thumb.
Yeah, you're not partners then.
You're not partners.
But that's the point. That the sister almost kind of understands that of like he's actually just kind of a tool.
And we have that brought up right after. Well, not right after, but very shortly after we have the whole thing that tests their bond as partners, where it's maybe we shouldn't be doing this together. Maybe we're a bad fit for each other. You know, it's like it's
and again. This all ties back into why they're doing this at all.
But that's one of the things that can get kind of like frustrating for me because I'm like. But we're getting this, and we didn't see how they actually really got together in the first place.
That's my point. And it's important.
No. It's totally important. And so the absence of it is like, I mean, but...
Well, it's a highlighter. It's drawing a circle around a blank space, being like... Yeah, no, it is.
But like, no, you're right. But like at what cost, right? Like, you have all of these situations of the people being like, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't add up. You know?
No, because it's a mystery, Jacob. That's
a mystery. yeah, mystery for us, but when it's like the start doesn't entirely even add up to me, you know, in some ways, but the characters don't question it. When they know what the start is, then I'm like, okay, then
we have to wait and be patient, let the story unfold, peel itself back, because that's the thing. We buy what the characters buy, and the thing is that we have in the story a character that has omitted a large portion of the perspective for very specific reasons, which means even more that they're drawing a really big highlighter around this character.
I know why this is something that's tough for me, is because when stuff like that happens, when I traditionally think of that, that's because we're going to have some reveal that's going to, and so we're going to put the things in at very specific times so that then, oh, cool, it all makes sense. But in doing it this way, it also makes it makes it more difficult for them to set something up so that it's it all made sense. It all makes sense in retrospect.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're doing both, it's like, wait,
but this is how we as reactors, Jacob, actually have a very easy time with this.
Okay.
This is a very hotly requested, very highly reviewed show. So they're not gonna fuck it up. That's the point. Is that people like this anime so much. Probably whenever you this is almost the unfortunate thing. Whenever you do mysteries like this and people highly recommend it like this, that means the reveal, the twist, the whatever the thing is good.
Right.
It's really good.
It was part of that made me buy into your odd taxi theory.
Yes.
Because I'm like,
right.
Yeah, but
same kind of thing here. But for this one, we know who's holding the key. He's right there in plain sight.
Well, right.
And now as we start to go and pull things back, it's the thing of where, obviously, because this is a story with a very limited character, you know, set here.
Yeah.
We're primed and ready for a new character to be introduced at any point.
Sure.
But because they're not, that means they're going deep on the few. And that fits.
And yet we still haven't seen how they met.
No, Jacob, but that's your brain is like
I know
skewed. Let it go, pull back, realize that we have someone who at the very least has a semi form of fourth dimensional perspective.
Totally.
And is doing something not just to be secretive for the audience's sake in a meta way, but there's a character reason to be secretive about it,
and
to Cheng Jiaoshi and the sister.
Okay.
So he's at the very least protecting them from something.
Totally. And if anything, to go based on the things that the show has showcased to us already, is that what this show tends to do best is not even so much the mechanics of the time travel aspects, it's the emotional stories.
Right.
So maybe my approach to thinking that they're setting up the Lu Guang thing to be a mechanical, it's going to be that as well. But probably the main impact of it is going to be the emotion behind it.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Right. Because what do we know about Lu Guang? Lu Guang is smart, but he makes mistakes, which means he's not omniscient. He doesn't know everything. We already know that there's certain things in which time-wise and also via perspectives of like security cameras, he doesn't actually know even everything that goes on in the individual cases.
Yeah.
But the bit that he does know, he holds back percentages of that from Cheng Jiaoshi at the very least because they're partners.
Vast majorities.
But the idea of someone who has time abilities, who works with their time abilities consistently, who always helps people, starts not helping people, starts keeping more secrets from Cheng Jiaoshi and the sister.
Yep.
And because we have the sister potentially knowing that there's something, fantastical going on, but based on the way they're showing things, I don't think she knows exactly that it's time travel or anything like that.
No, I think she does, because she was like, no, Lu Guang's the one doing it. You're just a tool.
Okay. Let me go here. She said in this episode when she was talking to them that she does to Shanshan, she doesn't know what it is. That could be, like you're saying, just a lying thing because it's more convenient that way. But at the very least, we've never seen Lu Guang's perspective with briefing the sister on anything with regards to this here.
And to that end, it would make a lot of sense given that he is a person that keeps information from
Close
people
to
for the
chest,
sake of basically manipulating them with good intentions. that he wouldn't tell the sister, and he'd just be like, there's a thing I can do, I can't explain it, you know, you'll have to trust me.
Right.
You know?
But if you go then for the meta thing like you're talking about, that it's a very powerful emotional reason, it's the kind of thing where they're his friends.
Sure.
At the very least, even though we don't know the origins of the exact reason as to why certain things went this way, like we do know that there was a basketball moment with him and Cheng Jiaoxi, and that was kind of the thing that kickstarted their friendship, even though that's not how they started this whole partnership deal. It is what started their thing there. That I would say Lu Guang is the kind of person who is burdened. He shows it in the eyes. Yeah. He shows it in the ability that he has, that he's thinking about all these variables, and that whatever the burden is, it's such that he cannot share it at all.
Right.
And that's there's so many things that it could be.
Yeah, and the bit that's tough about that is that
why is it tough? Like it's just a wait for a character to reveal that they have been dealing with this thing all this time.
No, of course.
Okay.
I get that.
Right.
I don't know if I've ever found that satisfying when it's done in stories, because it always feels like it's you could have told them some things, right? You know, it's the
okay.
And so what that makes me think is that it does tie into the burden thing, and then but it goes a step further where it's the almost like self-martyring type thing, right?
Yeah.
And that's
probably the specific emotion of it as to feeling shame. I think personally it's pretty obvious what type of problem it is. He has rules with regards to time travel. Why does he have rules? Well, because he broke the rules at some point.
Sure.
It's obvious. There's something that he did in time-related stuff.
There's a reason that he doesn't
him create the rules.
Yeah.
Either someone told him these are the rules, which then means there's another time travel, or two, he broke the rules, created his own rule set because he saw the consequences of doing that.
Yeah.
And there you go. He fucked up the time travel stuff, and now he's this paranoid manipulator about doing things exactly this way. And also, this is another thing that's rather fun, specifically, because if this show is really smart potentially with its mechanics and stuff, the only reason why he would know what his exact limits are with regards to certain things, with regards to his knowledge of time,
he pushed the limits.
Is because he pushed the limits.
Yeah, he found out where they were.
Right.
Yeah.
And
only 12 hours. The whole thing of needing a partner for it, which I feel like might be a self-imposed limitation, maybe because of some past time muckery, where it's like, I'm an alcoholic. I can't actually let myself go near the bottle. You know,
there's many meta reasons why there's a partner, but yes, there could also be a thing with that as well. Yeah. I just think it's the kind of thing where there's not really much to talk about other than it's exciting because the story is basically driving extra focus on it with episodes like this. Episodes like this point more towards Lu Guang than they do towards the girls kidnapping specifically. Yes,
because even if the situation of like a potential time hopper and the antagonist isn't the case, at the very least we have a situation where this is a case of Lu Guang. Well, no, she's drunk, so that would affect the feed of the data that he has of the situation because that's the perspective.
Maybe.
So like, but with the Emma case, that's a
exactly. Right, yes. Yeah.
That's a whole other enchilada.
That's a whole other enchilada.
You know, so
yeah, that's to be fair, that is the main thing that kind of draws attention to this.
We know that he knows what happens, but that doesn't mean he actually knows what happens if you change something.
Well, no, he's not omniscient.
No, right, but that means he wouldn't have actually known that Emma would have died if he did the text message thing, because otherwise he wouldn't have to worry about changing the past because he would know how it changes if you do something different.
Yeah. Either way, I'm just ready for this discussion to be over. I feel like it's we've had a good amount of stuff that we've gone into here, but I just don't feel like I'm circling around the same few things over and over again. But is there anything more that you want to bring up?
I hope they bring the cop into this after this. They might not, but I would.
Why would they not? Like you mean like immediately or just at all?
I mean. No, like for this specific case, I could totally see them not bringing the cop.
Oh no, yes, okay.
But I hope they do. I feel like this would, because it hits close to home, because they were like thoroughly bamboozled, right? Or at the very least, avenged or whatever, right? Like that. This is a situation where a pair of fresh eyes that is used to kidnappings and things like that could help a lot.
Okay,
but Yeah.
That'd be really cool too. But yeah, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general. And also be sure to check out my Fear and Hunger Let's Play on Twitch. And yeah, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.